I can't make this horse shit up. Remember, the New Age movement paved the way for this. And this is also one of the many precursors to a one world religion. And it's all rooted in absolute pseudoscience, which is to say propaganda, adult fairy tales for the slow thinkers to repeat. And somebody left this on the internet.
Will occur. When the
Hold
Earth
on.
passes through, 3 days of darkness will occur. When the Earth passes through the photon belt. This is as the Earth enters and passes through this belt.
Oh, by the way, now there's a photon belt that didn't exist.
There will be no sunlight, nor moonlight on the Earth's surface.
Interesting. No sunlight or moonlight. Aren't we told that the sun is creating the light that's bouncing off of the moon?
Photons are electromagnetic particles that travel at the speed of light and will
Photons are absolute pseudoscience. They do not exist!
act as a barrier or temporary shield around the Earth, preventing the light of the sun or the stars from passing through it. This is expected to last 72 hours or 5 days. There are no breaks.
Okay. We'll do the math in a minute, because that doesn't add up and it's fucking hilarious, and most people won't double check it.
Or periods of light. During the 3 days, only darkness. Recommendations: stock up on food, water, candles, other essential items. All sunlight will be blocked and solar panels will not generate energy. Stay at home and avoid traveling for safety reasons. The sunlight will return to the Earth, marking the beginning of the Golden Age.
Quite the opposite, but of course they're
This is
selling you the
expected to
golden
last
age.
72 hours or 5 days.
72 hours or 5 days. And we'll get there in a second. But first, I left all this crap on here. I said this is propaganda for the slow thinkers. Photons do not exist. Light has no speed. Absolute horseshit. Behold, propaganda. Now, this is something you could work out. Most people are too stupid to fucking double check these things. 24 hours, right? Or 12 hours for a night, 12 hours for a day. Yeah? Times 3 is 72. But they said 5 days. What the fuck? And if they're riffing off of, keep in mind, they're hijacking the biblical jazz.
There are no breaks or
And remember, the Bible is an abridged book. A lot of that shit's been corrupted, blah, 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 blah. But they are hijacking the 3 days of darkness and turning it into this, which doesn't reflect reality at all. When you're presented with the imagery to begin with, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And now look, there's other pretty little pastels in there and a bunch of other nonsense. Because somebody got creative with Photoshop or whatever they're using these days, if it's AR art or whatever. This is who posted it. Clearly, you can't trust this person as far as you could fucking throw them. Whether they work for our masters or they're just borderline brain dead remains to be seen. I don't know. But they are shopping around this garbage, which is why they have 49,000 people following them. To drive this point home, do you see that little thing that says Bashar? That's old school. Controlled opposition. He's a con man. Best of all, he claims that he's a medium. In other words, he's channeling shit. Supposedly. And what he waxes poetic about is adult fairy tales. He just ropes in duds who are not very bright. And he's going to convince you to repeat absolute nonsense. And most people do. Point being is he's old school controlled
Prayer
opposition.
is a present state of gratitude, not a request for something you don't have. Shiate.
I thought it was going to be a video of him so you could see who I'm talking about. The point is people are still shopping him around. Just like Dolores Cannon or whatever her fucking name is. I'm surprised she's not in here. There's the Galactic Federation of Horse Shit. Remember the Rockefeller Trust? That's who funds the Disclosure Project and the Gaia Project and the fucking Galactic Federation of Nonsense adult fairy tales. Oh, look. Earth in 5D. People don't understand that still, but they're repeating it. Hey, look, Dolores Cannon. What a surprise. I have no idea what Fur Babies is. Dr. Michael Newton, I don't think I know who that is, or I don't recognize the name. A number of things you hear about having to do with the Schumann resonance is absolutely fucking ridiculous crap, too. People would know these things if they looked into them. Note the alien propaganda. I mean, I could do this all goddamn day, but most people don't give a fuck. Most people want to repeat this. And that's the problem, is they're shopping around propaganda. I probably made my point 4 minutes ago, but most people are pretty slow, so I kept going. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Anonymous is also funded and moderated by the Rockefeller Trust. So was the Occupy movement, which I can't remember which one came first, but one of them paved the way for the other one, and then they just jerked each other off. This shit's a joke. And things like this, okay, pages like this would have 0 followers if you and I were surrounded by people who are well-meaning, who knew what they were talking about, or know what they're talking about. And what they got up to, the way they conducted themselves, the information they chose to present to others, wasn't in place to mislead each other. But instead we have this. Shit like this is deplorable. It's irresponsible. It's a fucking joke. But everybody who follows this and or just buys into it, you are the punchline, as I like to say. And chances are you didn't get the joke.